Hi yogis, Cori here, filming a video in my new space. I locked the pets away quickly for this video because while they are adorable, they can be a little bit distracting. So I love them, but they're gonna have to be away for the next 20 minutes or so. I thought I would film a couple of videos in the format of a class that I really like to teach called Vin Yin. So the Vin part, which stands for Vinyasa, means, just in this case, connecting our movement to our breath. So it doesn't mean a stronger practice or a faster practice. It just means moving rhythmically with our breath. And that's the part that you're watching right now, happening presently. So you'll watch this one, and then if you like, you can connect it to part 2, which is the Yin style of yoga. And that one will be holding stationary poses for longer, pretty much seated and reclined the whole time. And we'll use our breath to sink deeper into the poses, so less movement in that one. You're welcome to watch them both back to back in the format of a full class, or maybe you just feel like doing Vinyasa today and just watch this video, or maybe another day you just feel like doing Yin. So feel free to take them together or separate them. And to get started with our movement practice, we'll come down into a child's pose. So come on down into your child's pose. Ground your head down into the earth. Press down into your palms so you sink your hips back onto your heels. And just settle in right here into your breath. Feel your belly spread wide, right up against your thighs. Maybe your ribs press into the sides of your legs too. Exhale, feel yourself contract. And just stay here for a few more rounds of breath. Making your inhales long and deep, and your exhales smooth and steady. And on your next inhale, we'll start to pick up the belly, walk both hands over to the right, and we'll drape your belly over your right thigh and settle back in. If you want this more intense as a side stretch, take your left hand, place it over your right. And then let yourself sink down towards your mat. And we'll take another inhale and exhale here. And then slowly walk your hands through center. And we'll pick up the belly, drape it over the left thigh this time. Cross your hands if you like. And we'll take our stretch on the other side. And take another inhale to fill up. As you exhale, walk your hands back through center. And come back through our child's pose. Press your way through hands and knees, and then come all the way down onto your belly. And we'll press your hands down beside your chest. Press the tops of your feet and all 10 of your toes down into your mat. We'll take a round of cobra pose. Inhale, peel your chest up, draw your shoulders down and back. And come to any extent of cobra if you want to straighten your arms. If that feels better for you, go right ahead. We'll lower back down to the earth. And then we'll tent our fingertips on the upper corners of your mat. Bring your elbows pointing up towards the sky. Inhale, we'll rise. Straightening again to any extent that feels good, but think about drawing your heart forward so it takes some of the pressure out of your low back. Exhale, we'll lower down. And then we'll set up our elbows right underneath our shoulders for Sphinx pose. But let it be an active Sphinx, so bring your feet about hips distance apart, and rather than sinking down into your hips and your pelvis, press down through your forearms, scoop your tailbone underneath, and draw your belly button in towards your spine. And then we'll draw the heart forward, and let the shoulders travel away from your ears and squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. So heart reaching forwards here. And then feel free to stay right here, or we'll start to walk our way into seal pose. So we'll straighten out the arms, bring them a little wider apart, and still press down through your hands. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. Think about reaching your heart forward so we're not dumping into the low back. And then just like a seal, if you took this variation, we'll start to walk the hands back in closer towards you. unless it starts to bother your low back. Keep stretching the heart forward. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll lower back down. We'll tuck the toes under. Press your way back onto hands and knees. Set up in a tabletop. We'll take a few rounds of cat and cow pose here. Inhale. Find your cow pose. Lift your tailbone high to the sky. Gaze up. Exhale. Round your spine. Find cat pose in your back. And take a few more rounds. Remember here our Vinyasa, matching movement to our breath. So you move as quickly or as slowly as your breath is moving. And you can add in any other movements here that feel nice to you in your spine, in your hips, maybe your neck too. We'll take one more round. And as you're ready, you'll start to make your way back to a neutral spine. We'll tuck the toes under, make your way to your downward facing dog. Bend your knees deeply, lift your tailbone high. Try to bring your belly back a little closer to your thighs. And then we'll let the heels grow heavy, straightening into your legs as best you can. It's okay if they don't go all the way straight. Bring your ears in line with your biceps and press down through all 10 of your fingers. From here, we're going to inhale the right heel up to the sky, keeping your foot flexed. And we'll draw that knee forward. Walk your foot up in between your hands. We'll lower the back knee down, untuck your back toes. We'll take asana, lift your arms up by your ears. Settle in here. Come back to your breath. Keep your hips square to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach a little higher. Bring your gaze up to your fingers. On your exhale, we'll bring the hands down around to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under. We'll lift the back knee up. And still think about squaring your hips and almost like scissoring your inner thighs together. We'll come from here in our lunge, lifting your heart forward. As you exhale, we'll straighten through the front leg, come to modified pyramid pose. It's okay if your front leg doesn't go all the way straight. On your inhales, we'll start to lunge forward, rebending the front knee. Exhale, modified pyramid. You might like to hop your back foot in a little bit or spread your feet a little wider apart. Find what feels nice to you. And try to keep your belly in contact with your thigh as best you can. That'll help you stretch your heart forward instead of rounding so much into your low back. And we'll take another round like that. And then we'll rebend into our front knee. We'll lower the back knee down. Slide your right knee back in line with your left. Take one round of cow pose here. One round of cat. And then come through your neutral spine, tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Come back to your downward facing dog. This time we'll reach the left heel up to the sky on an inhale. As you exhale, draw your foot forward in between your hands. Lower your back knee down and tuck the back toes. We find our asana on this side. Squeeze your inner thighs together so both hips point forward, arms reach up to the sky. Inhale, bring your gaze up high. Exhale, bring your hands down around to frame your front foot. Tuck the back toes under, back knee lifts up. And draw the heart forward, so get set first in your high lunge. Try to make your heart square to the front. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten through the front leg as best you can. Find your modified pyramid with your back heel lifted. Inhale, we rebend, lunge forward, stretch your heart towards the front. Exhale, hips shift back, your front leg straightens. We'll take that 2 more times. Match your breath and your movement. And we'll take 1 more round. And this time as we lunge forward, we're going to start to walk the hands around to the right side of your mat. You'll bring all 10 toes to face the right side.
Just make sure you bring your feet into the same line. We're coming down to a wide-legged forward fold. So walk your feet a little wider if you need to. And let the crown of your head hang heavy down towards the floor. And if you like to take a bind, you can grab hold of your big toes or hook your fingers around the outside edges of your feet. And try to make your neck long. You can shake your head back and forth or nod up and down if that feels nice. And think about shifting the weight into the balls of your feet. Bend your knees if you need to. And we'll draw the crown of our head a little closer to the mat. And we'll take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, start to walk your hands out from underneath your feet if you took that variation. Plant your hands under your shoulders. We'll come up to a halfway lift. And then as you exhale, walk your hands back around to the front of your mat. We'll step our back foot forward to meet the front foot. You'll come to a forward fold with your feet hips distance apart at the top of your mat. Grab hold of opposite elbows here, sway side to side. And take another deep breath in. Exhale, release it out your mouth. Then we'll release the grip from around the elbows. We'll come to a yogi squat. So take your feet even wider so they come as wide as your mat. Bring your toes pointing out, heels pointing in. Start to sit your hips down low. And we'll bring our palms together at heart center. You'll press your elbows into the center of your knees and feel free to take this into a higher squat if it bothers your knees. We'll inhale here. And as we exhale, plant your hands down on the mat. Start to straighten through your legs, coming back into our forward fold. Next inhale, we'll sit back down low. Remember, only coming as low as feels good on your knees. Exhale, forward fold. And we'll take that one more round, match your movement of your own body. Find what feels good for you. And exhale to fold. And we'll bring our feet to point straight ahead. And then we're going to come down into a seat.
So that'll finish up the Vin section of our Vin and Yin practice. Feel free to stop here if that was enough of a flow for you. If you run out of time, make sure you give yourself a couple minutes in a Shavasana just to close out your practice. Or if you'd like to continue for the full practice, have a look for the Yin section, part 2. Thanks for watching. Namaste.